Hey guys, how are all of you beautiful people? Hope all of you are doing fine, and yes, this is the new series Naruto God Level Modifier. In the world of Naruto, Toyota Hiro got the Super Modifier System. So let's start without any delay. Orochimaru took the lead to have a cooperation with Hiro, which was unexpected to Hiro. Hiro shrugged and said, "If I guessed correctly, there is real cooperation between you and Danza. And I think you should know the situation between Danza and me is very bad right now." Orochimaru narrowed his eyes and said, "There is indeed an agreement between us. I didn't expect you to know about it. But don't worry, we don't interfere with each other's business." Hiro nodded his head. Of course, he knew this. "In that case, I don't know what kind of cooperation does Orochimaru-sama wants to discuss with me?" Hiro asked lightly. "I have been studying some kind of forbidden ninjutsu related to regeneration, recently. It is similar to the white snake ability, which can constantly shed its skin and regenerate, cell regeneration." Orochimaru pondered for a while and finally said. Hiro was startled. Orochimaru already studying Edo Tensei? This guy. Hiro certainly knows what Orochimaru is studying. Orochimaru saw the death of his parents and companions one by one during the Second Ninja War, which made Orochimaru feel vulnerable to life. Orochimaru himself is a ninjutsu fanatic, so he began to study immortality and regeneration. And Edo Tensei used to resurrect the dead, which made it a perfect beginning point for his studies. So the regeneration ninjutsu that Orochimaru currently refers to is Edo Tensei. Yamato could use Mokuton because Orochimaru transplanted the first Hokage, Hashirama's cells to his body to explore the mystery of immortality. "So, what do you want from me?" Hiro asked. Orochimaru should have already obtained the cells of Hashirama. Even Hiro's Mokuton is a little significant compared to it. What Orochimaru is trying to do? Hiro doesn't understand. Orochimaru said, "I am very interested in your Mokuton. I want to do some tests on it, so I am asking if you can provide me with some of your cells for research." It turns out that Orochimaru is still in the exploratory stage, even if he succeeded in Yamato's experiment, but the forbidden ninjutsu that Orochimaru wanted to study has a very long way to succeed perfectly. Hiro probably understands Orochimaru's way of thinking, but he doesn't want to study the cells with Orochimaru. It makes him very uncomfortable. "I cannot give you the cells." Hiro flatly refused. The atmosphere froze, and the air suddenly froze. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes, looking at Hiro, and seemed a little dissatisfied. The other party rejected him so readily. Damn. In fact, Hiro didn't want to reject Orochimaru. Orochimaru is different from Danza. There is still a cooperating opportunity with Orochimaru. Hiro is very interested in the forbidden ninjutsus developed by Orochimaru, and perhaps through Orochimaru, many forbidden ninjutsus can be studied. This forbidden ninjutsu is against the rules in Konoha, but Hiro has other methods. Encouraging Orochimaru to steal it. If it's good for him, Hiro will just take it, and using Orochimaru is one of the best ways. This is what Hiro thinks about Orochimaru. Thinking of this, Hiro made up his mind and said to Orochimaru, "My cells are useless to you." Orochimaru's eyes flickered, but he didn't say anything. "If you want to study forbidden ninjutsu, there are other good references," Hiro said. "Oh." Orochimaru looked at Hiro with interest. Hiro said with a serious voice, "I remember that the second Hokage created a lot of forbidden ninjutsu. This ninjutsus may have extremely high research value." When he heard what Hiro said, Orochimaru's eyes lit up. Orochimaru had always focused on the first Hokage. He even stole the body of the first Hokage Hashirama, because wanted to explore the secrets of Mokyuten. But he has been ignoring the second Hokage Tobirama. The second Hokage has his own value. In Hiro's view, although Tobirama in the original work is not as strong as the Hashirama, but he was still an extremely strong ninja. In the original book, most of the famous ninjutsus and forbidden ninjutsus in the Book of Seals such as the Flying Raijin Jutsu, Edo Tensei, and even the Shadow Clone Jutsu are all created by the second Hokage. It can be said that the second Hokage is the real forbidden technique expert. It's just that under Hashirama's light, the light of the second Hokage was slightly dim. After Hiro's reminder, Orochimaru immediately understood in his heart that this is a great opportunity for him. It is not necessary to use Hashirama cells with Edo Tensei. Thinking of this, Orochimaru's eyes flickered, and he muttered, "Why are you telling me this? Didn't Orochimaru-sama come to talk about cooperation? I am telling you this news. I hope you will share this ninjutsu with me in the future when this ninjutsu research is complete," Hiro said with a serious voice. It's no problem to cooperate with Orochimaru. As long he gets what he wants. Anyway, all the risks were taken by Orochimaru. He is just a news teller, why not do it? Okay, we have a deal. Orochimaru squinted at Hiro and then nodded slightly. Now everything is done, Orochimaru didn't want to waste more time, so he immediately turned around ready to leave. Wait, Hiro suddenly said. Orochimaru's body paused, then he turned and looked at Hiro with curiosity. Hiro said, Orochimaru-sama, you seem to be in a very difficult situation. Orochimaru looked toward Hiro with a puzzled face. Hiro said, although you are one of the three Sannin, you don't seem to have received much attention from the third Hokage recently. Even Jiraiya's disciple Minato went to guard the battlefield. But you as the captain of the Anbu, you still in Konoha. Hey, thinking about the Sannin back then. How powerful they were, they had attracted so much attention. You won so many battles for Konoha, but in the end, it seems that you can't even compare to Minato in third Hokage's eyes. Hiro said. This sentence was deliberately said by Hiro, and the purpose was to weaken the relationship between Orochimaru and third Hokage and Minato. Orochimaru looked a little ugly and left directly. Hiro watched Orochimaru's back going away, and gradually a curve appeared on his lips. Orochimaru, I'm sorry, this time I pitied you. Hiro and Orochimaru finished chatting, with a silly and happy smile on his face. Hiro returned to his home. At present, Hiro is in Konoha, and his life is extremely comfortable. He has truly become a hero in the hearts of many civilians in Konoha. He defeated the Sand Ninja and then restrained Kyuubi from running away. Hiro's performance in the past few was extremely amazing. And at the same time he began to train again, he also felt that someone always is watching him. It seemed that someone was watching and monitoring his every action and move. Is it Uchiha clan? Hiro was slightly startled. The presence of the person who monitoring him was extremely strong, and it was well hidden. If Hiro didn't have the sage body and possessed extremely strong perception ability, he wouldn't be able to find it. Uchiha Ken. Hiro secretly said in his heart. After thinking for a while, he has determined the identity of this person. Uchiha Ken must have noticed him, and wanted to get his Mokyuten. Therefore, during this period of time, Hiro can always feel Uchiha Ken's unresolved chakra locked on him. It seems that he has been monitoring Hiro's actions. Although Uchiha Ken was monitoring him secretly, Hiro was not panicked nor worried. His goal was to kill a Kage-level ninja with Sharingan, so he could open the main Gekyu Sharingan with the help of the system. Feeling Uchiha Ken's killing intent and scheming towards him, Hiro didn't get panic at all, but rather excited. Of course, Hiro is also very vigilant toward a strong person such as Uchiha Ken. Uchiha Ken should be stronger than Ibizo. After all, the system judged Uchiha Ken to be an ordinary kid-level ninja, and Ibizo was a weak kid-level ninja. As long as he kills Uchiha Ken, he can open Mangekyou Sharingan. Since Hiro knows this, he won't miss this golden opportunity. On the first day, Hiro acted as usual, reported to Anbu, trained in Anbu training field, as usual. And as he expected, Uchiha Ken's chakra was always locked on Hiro. The next day, Uchiha Ken still didn't take any action toward him, which shows how much patient he is. On the third day, Hiro deliberately went to Konoha Back Mountain to train this time. Hiro believed that Uchiha Ken would not let this opportunity pass. Konoha Back Mountain. At the foot of the mountain, the terrain is relatively open. It is a good place for training ninjutsu and a perfect place for killing people without attracting any attention. Hiro trained ninjutsu at the back mountain for a while, but he was very vigilant in his heart. He should be almost here, come and kill me, come on. After that, Hiro suddenly felt a powerful chakra locking on himself. This chakra was surging forward unabashedly, like a sea tide. The overwhelming pressure demonstrates the identity of the opposing party as a kid-level ninja. Within a few breaths, a man covering his face and body with black clothes appeared in front of Hiro. This man had only his eyes exposed. His eyes were sharp like daggers, as if a fierce animal was looking at him, which was extremely terrifying. Ding, reminding the host, Uchiha Ken, a powerful kid-level ninja, is showing his murderous intentions toward you. The host is on the verge of danger. Killing Uchiha can complete the Mangekyou Sharingan mission. Please work hard. The system prompt came. In an instant, Hiro heard the prompt sound of the system. After hearing the prompt sound, Hiro was even more energetic and full with fighting spirit. Hiro kid, today is your death date. Uchiha Ken sneered, hiding his identity. His voice hoarse and gloomy. Murderous intent was revealed in his eyes. Uchiha Ken didn't want to reveal his identity, so he wore a black suit. Hiro said with a smile, hiding the head and showing the tail, so afraid of revealing your identity. In that case, you don't need to worry about your identity anymore. What? Uchiha Ken didn't expect that Hiro would be able to guess his identity, so he couldn't help being stunned. Hiro sneered and said, "You are Uchiha Ken, the great elder of the Uchiha clan, am I right?" You. Uchiha Ken's eyes were filled with shock. He didn't expect that Hiro will really guess his identity. This kid actually came here prepared. As expected from first Hokage's Mokutan bloodline, truly extraordinary. I underestimated you. Uchiha Ken sneered, but even if you know my identity, so what? If I kill you right now, right here, no one will know. I might let you go before, but since you recognized me, you are destined to die today. Uchiha Ken no longer concealed his voice, his tone was filled with killing intents. Hiro was very calm and said, "Is that right? I think of another possibility. Today is your death day." Ha, arrogant. Uchiha Ken's expression became cold, and then as he waved his hand and Hiro saw some changes at space around them. Then suddenly a barrier appeared around of them. Hiro felt he entered a huge cubby prison. The barrier was about 100 meters in range. Kekkei Ninjutsu. Hiro was surprised. Yes, it is Kekkei Ninjutsu. As long as this barrier is on, you and I won't be able to leave this area. Oh, by the way, this Kekkei ninjutsu is soundproof, so our fight won't attract the attention of Konoha. Which mean I can kill you with being interrupted at all and you won't be able to escape. Uchiha Ken said with an evil smile on his face. Uchiha Ken looked at Hiro with a very strong murderous intent in his eyes, but at the same time his eyes also filled with greed. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. You have awakened the legendary Mokyuten, which mean you will be Uchiha clan enemy in the future. And also if I kill you, maybe I can get Mokyuten Kekkei, which will greatly enhances my strength. As the elder of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Ken of course knows many valuable secrets. Mokyuten is one of these many secrets. Mokyuten is a legendary Kekkei that can suppress even Uchiha Madara, the most powerful ninja in the Uchiha clan history. Now a person has this Kekkei and appeared in front of him, how can he not be moved by the greed? You talk too much. Hiro curled his lips and said, seeing the barrier spreading and covering both of them, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and said, no one can save you today, Uchiha Ken. Hiro did not hesitate and used all his strength from the beginning. His chakra started surging out, the chakra swept to all directions as a sea tide, with such a huge amount of chakra, facing Uchiha Ken. Seeing how much chakra does Hiro have, Ken was surprised, his expression changed slightly, and his eyes became more determined. Because of the sage body, his chakra is even be better than Uchiha Ken's. After all, Uchiha Ken is already an old man. Chakra is not as good as his peak period. When he thought about this, he showed stronger murderous intent, fire style, dragon flame kata wall. This is a high-level fire style ninjutsu, it is a strong fire style ninjutsu. Uchiha Madara once used this ninjutsu in the original book. Of course, Uchiha Ken is not as good as Uchiha Madara, but this ninjutsu is still terrifying. The fire dragons roared loudly, and was moving very fast toward. The 5 huge fire dragons seemed to be 5 huge ropes, moved directly towards Hiro's body, trapping him inside. At the same time, the flames are constantly rising, roaring, and becoming stronger. These fire dragons are lifelike, just like real dragons. These fire dragons were so violent that it made the space tremble a little bit. Fortunately, it was shrouded by enchantment ninjutsu, otherwise, the voice here would be discovered soon. Sure enough, he is stronger than Ibizo. Hiro was surprised, he realized that the strength of Uchiha Ken was indeed extremely strong, making him feel quite pressured. The strength of Uchiha Ken made Hiro show some fear. Can't hesitate anymore, otherwise. Hiro said to himself as he also started using ninjutsu. As the 5 fire dragons directly engulfed Hiro, suddenly Hiro's figure turned into a wooden figure. It turned out that it was only Hiro's wooden clone that was swallowed by the flame just now. Uchiha Ken is not surprised, sure enough, it is Mokyuten clone. Even if it is a Sharingan, Mokyuten clone still very difficult to recognize. As Uchiha Ken spoke, his eyes started turning red. In split second his eyes were completely blood red. The power of the Sharingan is finally revealed. Have you finally used Sharingan? Hiro's expressions gradually dignified, Mokyuten style, deep forest emergence. A sea of trees start growing from the ground, towering trees rising from the ground. Within the barrier, the trees were clustered, and the vines followed like a shadow, attacking Uchiha Ken from all direction. Ken dodged back and forth but ultimately lost. He was still submerged by tree vines. But thanks to his strong body flicker jutsu, he still managed to escape. But at this time Uchiha Ken's body was already covered with some scars, stabbed by the vines and thorns, making Uchiha Ken's eyes even more fierce. "Damn boy!" Uchiha Ken looked coldly at Hiro, then he made another hand sealed again, fire style, Fireball Jutsu. Wind style, Sunstorm Jutsu. Ken released 2 ninjutsu one after another, fire style and wind style. The combination of wind and fire makes the flames of Fireball swell at the sight of the wind, burning all the surrounding forests, so the forest that created by Hiro with Mokuton starts burning. Ken solved part of the Mokuton environment, his eyes condensed, and at this time he seized the opportunity, his figure flashed, and he reached Hiro's side. Body Flicker Jutsu. Uchiha Ken's figure flickered, he quickly reached Hiro's side and then slashed out in his hand. Secret Sword Technique, Leaves Cutting. Ken's katana is extraordinary. Hiro only saw countless sword shadows attacking, cold light bursts, as the sharp blades almost attacked from all directions. With the sword light, countless sword shadows fell directly on Hiro. Hiro felt a great threat from this attack. This move was very quick, and the pressure is simply suffocating. And more importantly, the katana slash contained a lot of power. The secret sword technique is an attack that Ken has always been good at. The sword art combined with Sharingan, so he has never been disadvantageous in the past battles. Many extremely powerful ninjas have died under his sword. Uchiha Ken's leaves cutting can swing dozens of katanas in an instant, which is extremely powerful and terrifying. This sharp katana was about to fall on Hiro's body. But at this time, Hiro's figure suddenly flashed, and he disappeared instantly. In the next moment, Hiro's figure appeared at the other end of the barrier. Uchiha Ken's katana fell to the ground, and the knife hit directly on the tree below, causing the tree to instantly become fragments, and the surrounding area was smashed into a deep hole for several tens of meters. This blow was so powerful that if it hit Hiro just now, the consequences would be disastrous. Uchiha Ken's face was gloomy, and he couldn't believe it. "How could you dodge my attack?" He was very confident in his swordsmanship. He used this trick to kill countless enemies. He also knew the power of this trick, so he was extremely surprised when Hiro dodged it. How is this possible? Of course, Hiro was able to avoid his attack because of the Flying Ragen Jutsu. He had made arrangements in the back mountain before. He had buried a lot of kunai in the soil before the fight, so he could move at any time using Flying Ragen Jutsu. Hiro said coldly, "Uchiha Ken, I will let you see my true strength." As he spoke, Hiro chakra surging all over his body, and once again released a strong move. Multiple Mokuton clones. At this time, several Hiro figures appeared. Hiro used multiple Mokuton clones to cooperate in the battle. In this case, seeing this, Uchiha Ken's expression became solemn. Uchiha Ken held the katana in his hand tightly, and felt a burst of pressure. Is this multiple Mokuton clone? It seems that this time I will face his continuous attack. Damn it, I don't know which one is the real body. Uchiha Ken said as he looked at the clones. When he moved, the 3 tomos in his Sharingan were continuously turning, spinning and rotating very quickly. The spinning of the 3 tomos at this speed means Uchiha Ken is going to use his illusion. Genjutsu. Uchiha Ken used Sharingan's Genjutsu, which is also the ultimate move he prepared. Genjutsu, Black Nirvana. Hiro saw Uchiha Ken gather all the chakras and used a Genjutsu on him. This Genjutsu is Uchiha Ken's ultimate move. A-rank Genjutsu released by Kid-level ninja. With the rapid rotation of Sharingan tomos, Hiro only felt that the scene in front of him changed, and suddenly entered the space of illusion. He was complete darkness. Hiro felt that this place is very gloomy and depressed, filled with dark and just darkness, nothing else, revealing a disturbing feeling in Hiro, which is very terrifying. Accompanied by the gloomy and dark chakra here, Hiro suddenly had a strange feeling in his heart, because the atmosphere inside Genjutsu was very unusual. Strange, powerful, rugged, and gloomy. This Genjutsu is much stronger than the previous Phantom Genjutsu. Hiro thought in his heart. At the same time, he saw dozens of super large piranhas plants suddenly rose from the ground of the Genjutsu space. The flower path of these piranhas is more than 10 meters long. There is mucus on the petals of these flowers, it was their saliva. These piranhas opened their blood-stained mouths, ready to swallow Hiro and his clones, and because he is in the Genjutsu space, Hiro's Mokuton clones were all trapped and swallowed directly by these piranhas. Hiro didn't dare to be careless and finally used his Sharingan to fight against Uchiha Ken's Genjutsu. As soon as the Sharingan appeared, Hiro's ability to resist Genjutsu was greatly enhanced and improved. A pair of Sharingan appeared in Hiro's eyes. As the 3 tomos of Sharingan appeared, Uchiha Ken was shocked to the core. "You actually have Sharingan." Uchiha Ken was stunned, the shock flashed in his eyes. He never thought that Hiro would actually have Sharingan. And it's still 3 tomos Sharingan. More importantly, Hiro seems to be able to fully grasp the power of Sharingan completely, but this is impossible. Uchiha Ken stood there in a daze for a second, and then suddenly his killing intent becomes even stronger. "What the hell is going on with you? How can you have our Uchiha clan Sharingan? Like I will tell you that." Hiro used the power of Sharingan to resist the Genjutsu and turn his chakra flow into normal. The Genjutsu was cracked by Hiro. Hiro's multiple Mokuton clones disappeared, turning into segments of wooden poles. At this time, Uchiha Ken's killing intent on Hiro had reached its extreme. "This little devil still has a Sharingan, how did he get Sharingan? It seems he can use Sharingan's power completely. Damn kid, I will kill you at all costs today," Uchiha Ken said in a deep voice. Hiro's face did not change. "You talk too much." Hiro decisively threw out dozens of kunai, all of which are Hiro's special kunai, which have Flying Ray Genjutsu seal engraved on them. That's right, Hiro has already planned to use Flying Ray Genjutsu. Hiro has gradually understood the combat method of the Flying Ray Genjutsu. Hiro decided that it is time to show Flying Ray Genjutsu power. Thinking of this, Hiro fully demonstrated his strength. Facing the projectile of kunai, Uchiha Ken just sneered, "Play tricks in front of me, your kunai technique can't do anything to me." Relying on the insight of the Sharingan, Uchiha Ken quickly avoided kunai. These kunai were easily avoided by Uchiha Ken, passing by him. At this moment, Hiro flashed and suddenly appeared behind him. "What?" Uchiha Ken was shocked, but he felt a figure flashing behind him, and at the same time, he heard the thunder of the harp. "Chidori!" Hiro's low shout sounded like a call of death. Uchiha had no time to react at all. He was completely frightened, and he didn't know how Hiro suddenly appeared behind him. In a hurry, he could only twist his body to one side trying to avoid Hiro's attack. In the next second, Chidori directly penetrated Uchiha Ken's body from the right side. Uchiha Ken screamed and coughed out a mouthful of blood. Fortunately, none of his vital points were hurt, otherwise, he would fall into a very bad situation. Uchiha Ken hurriedly jumped away from Hiro and covered his wound, but the blood quickly stained his clothes red. He looked at Hiro's calm expression, looking at Hiro's handsome and young face. He really can't figure out how Hiro suddenly appeared behind him. This kid. Uchiha Ken covered his wound as he did a simple treatment to prevent the injury from becoming too serious. It's just that his breath was sluggish, which shows Hiro's attack did some serious damage to his old body. If it hadn't been for him to finally detect something wrong with Hiro's sudden disappearance due to his years of combat experience, so he dodged the attack at the critical point, otherwise he would have been dead by now. This ninjutsu, this kunai, could it be? Uchiha Ken noticed the kunai thrown by Hiro, and suddenly he remembered something. Hiro shrugged. You guessed it, it's the flying Raijin jutsu. What? Uchiha Ken was completely shocked. He felt that everything related to Hiro was completely beyond his cognition. First of all, Mokyuten, and then Sharingan, and now flying Raijin jutsu. How could this little devil have so many powerful ninjutsu? If someone has just one of these three powers and trained it to the limit, then that person will be very powerful. Like the first Hokage with his Mokyuten, he became the god of the ninja world. Uchiha Madara with Sharingan, he controlled the Kyuubi like his pet, and fourth Hokage Minato, who was known as Konoha's Yellow Flash because he used flying Raijin jutsu, which gave him unimaginable speed. But Hiro now has all these three power in his body, and that makes Uchiha Ken want to kill himself from envy. Uchiha Ken looked at the expressionless boy in front of him. He felt that Hiro was too mysterious. Now Uchiha Ken regretted it, why he had rushed to kill Hiro. After the real battle, I discovered that the hidden cards of this kid are endless. Now Uchiha Ken's heart is full of fear. Flying Raijin slash. Uchiha Ken was injured. Hiro once again used flying Raijin jutsu to end this fight as soon as possible. After throwing the kunai, he quickly teleported. Faced with the temporal and spatial effect of flying Raijin jutsu, Uchiha Ken felt afraid and very depressed at the same time. He was already injured, but at this time he started losing his fighting spirit, which greatly affected his fighting ability. Hiro continued using flying Raijin jutsu's instant movement, first instantaneously appeared in front of a kunai, then shot kunai again, and then instantaneously appear in front of another kunai, dazzling and confusing Uchiha Ken, making him unable to track it even with his Sharingan. Uchiha Ken's psychological defense gradually collapsed. Even with Sharingan, Uchiha Ken couldn't defend against Hiro's fierce and fast attack. In fact, he couldn't even see Hiro's actions at all. Because flying Raijin jutsu is space-time ninjutsu, which means there won't be any sign of movement when it is used, it is almost undetectable. Hiro approached Uchiha Ken in a blink of an eye. Uchiha Ken can only defend hastily, but it is a pity that he was seriously injured and his actions were very slow. Kenjutsu, Thousand Shape Currents. This is a combination of Kenjutsu and Genjutsu. Being able to combine Kenjutsu with the confusing nature of Genjutsu, Uchiha Ken was a real Kenjutsu expert. When people perceive it, they only feel that this sword seems to be terrifying, as if this attack will destroy the sky and earth, and this is the use of Genjutsu in this move to makes people frightened. Hiro's heart was filled with shock and surprise. This Uchiha Ken's Kenjutsu technique is quite special. It can make people enter Genjutsu. As he expected of a kid-level ninja with Uchiha Kekkei Genkai. Hiro was vigilant and careful in his heart, but on the surface, he never stopped. Using flying Raijin jutsu, Hiro's figure was moving from place to place. He didn't stop even for a second at the same place, and at the same time, he continued using Chidori to attack him, The thunder and lightning of Chidori turned into Senbon form, which was shot out by Hiro one after another, making Uchiha Ken fell in a very disadvantaged situation. Although Uchiha Ken's Kenjutsu didn't have much effect on Hiro, but still it made Hiro's actions slightly slower. Under these circumstances, Uchiha Ken was on the verge of collapsing. His body was getting more and more injured, and his body was covered with wounds almost everywhere. He looked very embarrassed. The fear in Uchiha Ken's eyes also became more intense. Wind style, vacuum tornado. Hiro released wind ninjutsu, only to see the violent wind rolling up and a tornado hitting suddenly. Then this strong tornado turned into countless small wind blades and attacked Uchiha Ken from all directions. Uchiha Ken had very little chakra left at this time. Although he knew this wind ninjutsu was powerful, but he was unable to avoid it. His chakra was almost exhausted. Uchiha Ken was swept up by the tornado, screamed, and vomited a large mouthful of blood. He was seriously injured and fell heavily to the ground. Most of the wounds caused on his body caused by Hiro's last ninjutsu. Uchiha Ken was lying on the ground motionlessly as he was breathing very slowly and weakly as if he will die at any moment. Uchiha Ken raised his head with difficulty. After he saw Hiro's approaching step by step, it was like a death call to him. The fear and anxiety in his heart became even more stronger, and he quickly said, You can't kill me, otherwise the Uchiha clan will kill you directly. As long as you spare my life, I promise I will never trouble you again. I can even make the Uchiha clan support you if you want to be the next Hokage. Facing death he became afraid, which made him gradually succumb. Hearing Uchiha Ken's words, Hiro smiled faintly. Do you think I'm afraid of Uchiha clan's revenge? Since Hiro planned to kill him, of course, he won't be afraid of the Uchiha clan's revenge. What's more, Hiro has other methods to get rid of any future suspicion, which are also the countermeasures he has thought of before fighting with Uchiha Ken. Uchiha Ken said with difficulty, the Uchiha clan has hundreds of members. I am their great elder. They. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about it. And it was not me who killed you. It was Danza. Hiro said with a sly smile. Uchiha Ken did not speak, but a look of uncertainty flashed in his eyes. Hiro said lightly, I didn't do anything, and I didn't show up here tonight. The one who killed you was Danza. Do you know why I especially used wind ninjutsu against you? You are thinking. Hiro curled his lips and said, yes, because in Konoha if someone can kill you a kid-level ninja with wind ninjutsu, it seems that only Danza has such ability. Danza is a ventilated person. In the original book, when he and Sasuke fought, he used all kinds of wind ninjutsu. That's right. The reason why Hiro wanted to kill Uchiha Ken with wind ninjutsu was to make the Uchiha clan suspicious of Danza. They already hate Danza very much, so of course, they will blame Danza for this matter. Till now Hiro didn't use any ninjutsu other than wind ninjutsu. Hiro constantly uses wind ninjutsu, so that from Uchiha Ken's corpse, everyone will subconsciously think of Danza who did it. Planting blame, that's it. This is what Hiro thought about long ago. Uchiha Ken's eyes widened. Putting your death on Danza's head and making strife between Danza and Uchiha clan, so I am not only will get rid of Uchiha clan's surveillance but also Danza's. This plan seems to be very good. Hiro said with a smile. Uchiha Ken's expression changed. Hiro's plan wasn't a good plan, it was a horrible plan that will make the situation between the Uchiha clan and Danza almost unsolvable anymore. It is just like adding fuel to the fire. You must know that the Uchiha clan and the Konoha upper-level ninjas are always stiff with each other, and especially Danza, who inherits the second Hokage thoughts toward the Uchiha clan perfectly, so Danza has always been vigilant and hostile to the Uchiha clan. If Hiro puts the blame on Danza, most people will believe it, and especially the Uchiha clan. At that time, it would be. Thinking of this, Uchiha Ken was ashamed, and his complexion changed. Well, having said so much, please go and die. Hiro's eyes flashed coldly. As always, he was merciless towards his enemy. Wind style, vacuum waves. Hiro shouted in a low voice. He used strong wind ninjutsu again, sending out dozens of rotating wind cuts toward Uchiha Ken. Uchiha Ken was completely dead, and his pupils immediately dilated as his breath completely disappeared. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you successfully killed Uchiha Ken, you can receive rewards at any time. The system prompt came, which made Hiro relieved. The barrier ninjutsu also disappeared along with Uchiha Ken's death. At the same time, after Uchiha Ken's death, Hiro processed his corpse again, making his wounds look more like wounds caused by wind ninjutsu. After clearing any traces that may lead toward him in the surrounding area, Hiro was finally relieved and left quickly. After a careful inspection that everything is perfect, Hiro quickly moved under the dark night and returned his home. At home, Hiro quickly entered the room and locked the door behind him, then sat cross-legged on the bed. Without further ado, Hiro directly entered the modifier space. Mangekyou Sharingan, the advanced form of the Sharingan that has only been activated by a handful of Uchiha clan members, is finally about to open. Ding! Congratulations to the host. It is detected that the host has successfully killed Uchiha Ken, and is eligible to open the Mangekyou Sharingan. Will host open it now? Open. Hiro was super excited, so he said without hesitation. Does system even needs to ask? Of course, he will choose to open it immediately. Hiro worked so hard, isn't it just for this thing? Extracting hatred and negative energy. A prompt sound came from the system. Hearing the prompt, Hiro nodded his head. He knew that if he wanted to open the Mangekyou Sharingan, it was necessary to absorb the negative and hatred energy. The system got this hatred energy from Uchiha Ken's body after being killed by him, his heart filled with hatred. Soon, the energy extraction was completed. Suddenly, pure gloomy energy was rising from the bottom of Hiro's heart, rushing towards his eyes. He felt that his eyes were burning as if his eyes were on fire. Hiro couldn't help being surprised by the powerful gloomy energy. At the same time, Hiro's pupils turned red, the three tomos appeared and started spinning crazily. The three tomos kept spinning, and the speed of rotation became faster and faster. Finally, three tomos were linked together to form a pattern similar to a six-pointed star. There is a circle outside the six-pointed star, which looked very mysterious and charming. Hiro's Mangekyou Sharingan is similar to Sasuke's in the original work, but the abilities they have are different. Hiro's Mangekyou Sharingan finally appeared. Mangekyou Sharingan, also known as the Eye of Soul Portrayal. In other words, the process of changing an ordinary Sharingan into a Mangekyou Sharingan is caused by the hatred and negative energy stimulation, and then by appealing to the deep desire of the Uchiha clan member. Take Uchiha Itakai, for example. After witnessing the death of his friend and teacher Shisui, he opened the Mangekyou Sharingan. At that time, the relationship between Konoha and Uchiha was on the verge of collapse, so he desperately needed a powerful force in his heart. Therefore, the Amaterasu that burns everything came into being, but he knew in his heart that the situation in front of him was extremely difficult to control, and he wanted to control the situation, and he had Tsukuyomi that could control the world of illusion. As for Obito, he did the same. Witnessing the death of the goddess Rin of his dreams, his heart completely collapsed. He resents the world, so both of his eyes wielded Kamui because he wanted to take Rin to a safe place. The same is true for Sasuke. When Sasuke opened his eyes, he heard the truth about Itachi's death. His heart was full of hatred and self-blaming. He yearned for revenge, so he got the strongest attack Amaterasu, and he wanted to control his destiny, so he got the power that can control the shape of the flames or extinguish them. It can be seen that there are different types of Mangekyou Sharingan, and the progress of eye opening is an extremely special thing. And Hiro's Mangekyou Sharingan opened his eyes at this time, which also seemed very special. Negative emotions and dark energy filled his whole body. As his chakra also soared, Hiro's strength was fully improved. At this time, the female voice of the system suddenly sounded in Hiro's ears. Congratulations to the host, successfully opened Mangekyou Sharingan. Currently the host has the ability to choose the power of both eyes. Does host wants to choose the ability. Could it be that I can still choose abilities of the Mangekyou Sharingan by myself? Hiro was slightly startled. Exactly. Hiro's eyes lit up. After the system was prompted, the picture in front of him changed. Several Mangekyou Sharingan abilities that had appeared in the original work appeared in front of Hiro. Sasuke's Mangekyou Sharingan, Amaterasu in the left eye, flame controlling right eye. Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyou Sharingan, Tsukuyomi in the left eye, Amaterasu in the right eye. Uchiha Shisui, Kotoamatsukami. Obito, Kamui. Hiro looked at the abilities of these Mangekyou Sharingan, his heart filled with excitement. Being able to choose his own abilities from the Mangekyou Sharingan abilities that appeared in the original work. This a help from the system. If this is the case, Hiro started thinking about which pair of Mangekyou Sharingan he should choose. First of all the abilities of the Mangekyou Sharingan are extremely strong, which is a certain thing, but after Hiro thought carefully, he still felt that Obito's Mangekyou Sharingan seemed to be the most suitable for his current situation. With Kamui, Hiro will be able to come and go freely, and it is especially convenient in battle. After all, space abilities are extremely practical. Kamui can defend against all attacks. After using Kamui, all physical attacks will be invalid against him. This ability is simply a life-saving ability, and it can be used to kill people on the battlefield without any obstacles. Hiro will be almost untouchable on the battlefield. It is indeed very suitable for him. Besides, Kakashi's Kamui is also very powerful, can make a tear in the space, in essence, transfer opponents to another space. I choose Obito's Mangekyou Sharingan. Hiro made his decision. Congratulations to the host, for successfully obtaining the Mangekyou Sharingan. In an instant, Hiro had the pair of Mangekyou Sharingan. Kamui. There was a burning feeling in his eyes. Hiro had fully possessed the power of Obito's Mangekyou Sharingan. Hiro felt extremely powerful right now. The six-pointed star in the eyes demonstrates the especial power of the Mangekyou Sharingan. The Mangekyou Sharingan finally opened. From then on, let me see who can kill me in the ninja world. I must be the number one ninja in the Naruto world. Hiro clenched his fists, his pride burst. With Mangekyou Sharingan, Hiro's strength has greatly increased, so he is in a very good mood right now. His Mangekyou Sharingan possessed the abilities of both Obito and Kakashi. Kamui. Hiro couldn't wait to try them. As soon as Hiro moved his body, he entered the Kamui space. This is an independent space. There is a platform in front of him. This world seems to be completely controlled by Hiro himself. He can trap people in it at any time. He can also come here any time to avoid enemy attacks, making it a very convenient ability. The Kamui is a very powerful ability. It can make all the physical attacks pass through his body without being hurt or affected. Now, as long as I don't encounter extreme situations, I can protect myself. But the disadvantage of Mangekyou Sharingan is that the attack method is only one, only relying on Kamui to tear space. Luckily I have Mokyuten and other powerful ninjutsu, so it doesn't matter. Hiro said to himself. The of his Mangekyou Sharingan Kamui seemed to be innate, allowing Hiro to master and use it instantly after getting them from the system, making Hiro very satisfied. That's not right, I killed Uchiha Ken, he is a kid-level ninja, there should be a golden treasure chest, right? Hiro asked the system. Because Uchiha Ken is the key person to open Mangekyou Sharingan, he won't drop the golden treasure chest. Please continue to work hard in the future. Black-hearted system. Hiro curled his lips and sneered. However, for Hiro it didn't matter, being able to obtain Blur and Kamui is already very good. Friendly reminder to the host, the host's Mangekyou Sharingan isn't limited to the Mangekyou Sharingan ability Kamui. The host can modify it through the Modify Mangekyou Sharingan permissions to get multiple Mangekyou Sharingan abilities. The female voice of the system came into Hiro's ears. The news gave Hiro a lift. What? I can have more than one kind of Mangekyou Sharingan. It means that I can modify even the super strong bloodline limit like Mangekyou Sharingan. Hiro couldn't help being surprised. The function of this modifier is too amazing, even Mangekyou Sharingan can be modified, giving Hiro a variety of Mangekyou Sharingan abilities. This rhythm. Hiro feels repairing even more. Modifier power is very extraordinary. In that case, I will be able to modify the Mangekyou Sharingan in the future, and have the Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, etc., which is very good. Hiro secretly said. Although Hiro was already deeply aware of the role of the modifier system, but the system kept surprising him again and again. Speaking of which, system, what conditions do I need to open the eternal Mangekyou Sharingan? Hiro asked. He does not have a brother to use eyes replacement solution if he became blind in the future from using Mangekyou Sharingan, and thus without system help, Hiro can't get eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. The time for the host to open the eternal Mangekyou Sharingan has not yet arrived, the system will remind the host at that time. The female voice of the system gave a satisfactory answer. Okay. Hiro nodded, but he already understood that the system must have other ways to help him open the eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, so he relaxed. Hiro's expression recovered, and after waiting all night, he went to sleep as if nothing happened. In the darkness, everything was silent. But for many people, tonight is destined to be a sleepless night. For example, the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha clan territory was brightly lit at this time. Because the great elder of the Uchiha clan hadn't returned all night, the whole Uchiha clan was in an alarmed state as they were all searching for Uchiha Ken. Almost all the Konoha guards were deployed, leaving the villagers in the village surprised. The Uchiha clan's sudden moves, of course, also shocked Third Hokage and Danza and attracted their attention, but unfortunately, Danza was talking secretly with Orochimaru at this time, so Danza did not appear, but received information. The disappearance of the great elder of the Uchiha clan is of course a major event. Gradually, during the Konoha Guard's search, many people also learned about the disappearance of Uchiha Ken, the great elder of the Uchiha clan. The news reached Konoha's high-level ears, and everyone realized that this time things were a bit unusual. His disappearance was like a rumble of thunder and lightning, and the rain should follow soon. Hiro didn't know the specific situation of Konoha. He is still in a deep sleep at this time. After all, fighting against a kid-level ninja like Uchiha Ken is very difficult, which completely exhausted him. Although Hiro has a sage body, but fighting a kid-level ninja will still consume a lot of chakras. Not knowing what happened in the village, Hiro slept until noon the next day before waking up. And it was Kuinai who came to Hiro especially. Hiro saw Kuinai raising her pretty face in front of him. Seeing her charming and lovely appearance, Hiro felt warm in his heart, and he couldn't help but smile. "Kuinai, why are you here?" Hiro asked with a smile. Kuinai smiled softly, with a gentle expression. "I made something delicious. It's a fried udon noodle with meat." Kuinai felt a little proud of herself as she raised the things in her hands. It was indeed a fried udon noodle with meat, showing a golden color, filled with ingredients, authentic fried udon noodles. You can see the earnestness and care of Kuinai. Hiro's heart sighed slightly. Kuinai paid a lot for him, making Hiro's heart filled with warmth. Kuinai smiled sweetly, with a natural young girl's sweetness. She was holding her chin with her small hands, looking at Hiro with beautiful ruby-like eyes, blinking her eyes, and smiling. "Try it and see if it's okay. Is it delicious?" "As long as you cook it, it will be delicious," Hiro responded seriously, making Kuinai's face turn red from embossment. "HMPH, I know that your mouth is slippery." Even so, a sweet smile appeared on Kuinai's face, making Hiro smile. "I know I'm sometimes wrong and gullible, but I'm telling the truth right now," Hiro immediately said with a serious voice. Seeing the girl's bright smile, Hiro thought it was the most beautiful scenery he had ever seen. Hiro ate the udon fried noodle which Kuinai made with a happy smile. Not to mention, the taste was really good, which made Hiro like its taste even more. The noodle has such a delicious taste because Kuinai cooked it with care and love. In this aspect, Hiro really loved being taken care of by Kuinai. 5 stars delicious. Seeing that Hiro likes her cooking so much, Kuinai became very happy. A sweet smile appeared on the little girl's face, which made Hiro's heartbeat become faster. "Is it so delicious?" Kuinai chuckled with her chin resting on her palms. "Yes, it's a bit worse than your lipstick." Hiro blinked. The Naruto world is actually a bit similar to the modern world, and there are things like smile computers, lipsticks, and lights. Hearing Hiro's words, Kuinai's cheeks flushed red, and she gave Hiro a fierce look. Her face became red as a tomato from embarrassment. Hiro teased Kuinai for a while, and then directly sealed the girl's small mouth. Kuinai was so nervous that she didn't know what to do as her heart was throbbing furiously. Kuinai could only respond cutely to Hiro's attack. Hiro tasted her sweet lips for a while before stopping. Kuinai's face was blushing right now, she couldn't even look at his face. Kuinai is a very shy girl. She didn't dare to look at Hiro's eyes. She was just playing with the corners of her clothes with her hands. Maybe she is shy in front of the person she likes more than other people. When Hiro was preparing to take further action, he checked the time and said, "Well, it seems that it's time to go to the Hokage building." Now that Hiro was promoted to Anbu captain, he had another task. He must go to the Hokage building frequently. In the past, Hiro was passive and lazy about this job, but today he was very energetic. Because there will be a good show today, and he won't miss it no matter what. Well, you go first, I'll help you clean up the house. Kyoinai smiled cutely and sweetly. Hearing what Kyoinai said, Hiro felt warmth in his heart and kissed Kyoinai's smooth cheek before walking out of the house. It is really a great pleasure to have such a gentle and lovely waifu at home. Hiro wore his Anbu animal mask. He chose a cat face mask especially. Hiro's figure flashed, he was jumping on houses' roofs one after another, and soon arrived at the Hokage building. Entering the Hokage building, the surrounding guards and troops all saluted Hiro and said, "Hiro-sama. Well, you have worked hard." Hiro was gentle. A loud noise came from ahead, accompanied by quarrels, which seemed to be very loud. There were constant quarrels inside the Hokage office, and it seemed that there was a conflict between the two sides. Hiro frowned slightly. What's going on? The Anbu guard who was standing next to Hiro was his subordinate, Hyuga Kurosawa. He quickly explained, "The people from the Uchiha clan are inside. Hiro-sama may not know. Last night the great elder of the Uchiha clan suddenly disappeared." Hiro thought in his heart, finally, how could I not know, and it was me who killed him. Have they found Uchiha Ken now? Hiro was concerned. Hyuga Kurosawa lowered his voice, although they found him, but only his body was found. I heard that his corpse was found on the mountain back. After the leader of the Uchiha clan inspected his body, he found that Uchiha Ken was killed by wind ninjutsu user. Hyuga Kurosawa lowered his voice, not daring to say more. Hiro's heart moved. Uchiha Ken's body was found, very good. Now he can watch a wonderful show. Hiro said, "I know." Immediately, his figure flashed and he entered the Hokage office. With Hiro's current identity and reputation, no one dared to stop him. Entering the Hokage office, he heard a loud quarrel in the office. Hiro saw 3 middle-aged men in green ninja suits were inside the Hokage office, and their leader was Uchiha Fugaku. Fugaku has long brown hair, a cold expression as his eyes filled with anger. Behind Fugaku, there were 2 strong ninjas of the Uchiha clan standing behind him. Their expressions were angrier than Uchiha Fugaku. Their faces are flushed duo extreme anger. Their 3 tomos Sharingan was opened as if they were ready to attack at any moment. On the other side, the 3rd Hokage standing wearing a Hokage costume and a cloak. Besides the 3rd Hokage, Danza leaning on his wooden staff. The 2 parties were opposing each other. Fugaku said sternly, "Hokage-sama, Uchiha Ken is the great elder of our Uchiha clan. He was assassinated on Konoha land, and he was assassinated with wind-style ninjutsu. I want justice from Hokage-sama, please give us justice." Danza snorted coldly, "The cause of Uchiha Ken's death is unknown. You said he was assassinated. No one can prove it, but you came to the Hokage building to seek justice. What are you trying to do?" Danza also sternly shouted. The 2 foes were looking at each other with a cold face, which made the Hokage office a bit tense. Hiro was watching all this with cold eyes. The 3rd Hokage suddenly had a strong headache. Uchiha was originally Konoha's Thornhead. Who would have thought that their elders suddenly killed, and Danza became suspect number 1 in the Uchiha clan eyes, which made things more complicated and troublesome. Uchiha Fugaku wouldn't give up so easily. Our elder's body is not cold yet, and there is still a wind element chakra on his corpse. As far as I know, there are not many ninjas that can use wind style in Konoha. And such powerful wind ninjutsu, there is only one person in Konoha who can kill our Uchiha clan's great elder. What do you want to say? Danza asked in a deep voice as he suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Danza-sama, if I remember correctly, it seems that you are particularly good in wind ninjutsu. Am I right? Uchiha Fugaku said with a cold face. Danza's eyes flickered. Are you suspicious of me? Uchiha Fugaku sneered and said, how do I dare to doubt Danza-sama, but it seems that Danza-sama's location was unknown last night. My clan great elder was killed. Of course, I will investigate the matter thoroughly. Danza's face turned black when he heard Fugaku's words. He almost spewed out a mouthful of old blood. He was extremely depressed. Danza was very depressed at this moment. If it was him who did it, he will be very happy, but to take the blame for someone else, he won't accept it. Uchiha Ken was killed, and Fugaku believed that it was Danza who killed him. Danza didn't have a good alibi. Such a depressing feeling made Danza extremely unhappy. Damn it, what's going on? Who is trying to pit me? Danza's eyes flickered, thinking about what was going on, and how things turned out to be like this. This feeling of powerless and the Uchiha charges. Danza was angry and was extremely dissatisfied with Fugaku, but he couldn't say anything. In fact, what Hiro did was a very simple strategy, which was just the most common planting and blaming. As long as Uchiha and Danza think calmly, they would know that this is probably a conspiracy trap. But the problem is that the relationship between the Uchiha clan and Danza is very very bad, and Danza was targeting the Uchiha clan and was trying to make their influence and power become less since he became a consultant of the Third Hokage. As time passed, the two sides started hating each other even more, which in fact made the whole Konoha atmosphere a bit tense, and that made Danza and Uchiha natural enemies. Under such circumstances, Hiro's approach was simply to ignite the gunpowder, so that the already fragile relationship between the two parties fell apart. As Uchiha clan leader, Fugaku faced such a major event as the death of the great elder of the Uchiha clan. If he can't give a logical explanation for his clan members, how can he deserve the leader's position? Whether Uchiha Ken was killed by Danza or not, the truth is not so important anymore. As long as the people of the clan think that he was killed by Danza, then the person who killed their great elder is Danza. And as a patriarch, he can only question Danza and put the blame on him. But Danza has nowhere to vent his anger. Seeing Uchiha Fugaku did not back down, there was no way that he would back down against his foe. Anyway, he has been upset with Uchiha's clan for a long time. Danza-sama, I think you must give us the Uchiha clan an explanation for this matter. Fugaku said coldly with strong momentum. Danza was angry, but his voice became even more tougher and colder. I said, I didn't do it. Your Uchiha clan became so bold that you dare to question me directly. Are you suspicious of my behavior? Both parties are angry and don't want to back down. Hiro was feeling that he was watching the most exciting show ever. Even Hiro himself couldn't think that his simple strategy will lead to such an amazing result. Although the Uchiha clan and the Konoha executives were hating each other before, but they had not completely torn their back to each other. But now, a huge crack appeared between the two sides, making them back to normal is almost impossible. Could it be that the split between the Uchiha clan and the Danza and Konoha high-level leaders was caused by this incident, and it was actually caused by me? Hiro couldn't help thinking in himself, there would not be such a coincidence. Is this coincidence, or it's Uchiha clan's fate? It can only be said that the Uchiha clan is getting closer and closer to their destiny, just like in the original work. Hiro did not expect that while he was trying to pit Danza, he would also pit the Uchiha clan. The atmosphere was tense inside the office. Third Hokage felt very hopeless and powerless seeing this situation, and the development of things was a little unexpected for him. Third Hokage took a smoke of his pipe and stood up and said, "All of you calm down. The third Hokage can only act as a peacemaker now. Fugaku, don't jump to conclusions about this matter. I will give an explanation to the Uchiha clan. I will give the Konoha Guard the power to investigate this matter thoroughly." Uchiha Fugaku was still dissatisfied, but seeing the third Hokage speaking, it is difficult to continue blaming Danza. After all, he is the Hokage, and he can't directly tear his face with Hokage. The third Hokage also didn't want to make the fragile situation between the Uchiha clan and village more fragile, so he could only say, "I'm sorry for Uchiha Ken's death, but this is the end of the matter. Don't be impulsive, I promise you that I will do my best to find the truth." Standing next to the Uchiha Fugaku, both the Uchiha clan members frowned as they were very dissatisfied with the third Hokage. One of the members curled his lips and said, "The one who died is not from the Sarutobi clan." "Yes." The other person echoed. Third Hokage's expression changed slightly, and finally remained silent, but he took another suffocated cigarette. Hiro shrugged and thought in himself, the third Hokage in a very bad situation. The Hokage position really makes one sometimes very tired. Because the overall situation must be taken into consideration, otherwise, it will be like stabbing the Uchiha clan and will make the Uchiha clan alienated. But seeing Danza's depressed look, Hiro felt very comfortable and refreshed. Danza was in a very bad mood right now, because of the Uchiha clan's affairs. He knows this will affect him. Danza's hatred of Uchiha's clan is known for everyone, so even if he denied, no one will believe him. After talking for a few minutes, the third Hokage dismissed them. The dissuasion with Uchiha Fugaku and others came to end. Uchiha Fugaku's eyes flickered, snorted, and took a look at Danza before taking the people away. Danza was filled with anger. The wooden staff slammed heavily. Looking at Fugaku's leaving back, he coldly snorted, "Uchiha clan, really courageous, they want to rebel." "Danza," the third Hokage said in a deep voice, "did you kill Uchiha Ken or not? Even you doubt me." Danza was even more depressed. He was about to vomit blood from his anger. Hiro almost laughed out loud. This scene is really getting more and more interesting. Hiro thought that the exciting show wouldn't last long, but after seeing the violent conflict between the two sides, he felt it was worth it. "This is indeed something your character will do," the third Hokage said. After all, Danza's actions in the roots have always been based on the assassination, which really makes people doubt. Danza was furious and depressed. He couldn't find a place to vent his anger. He snorted heavily and walked away. The third Hokage sighed. Danza is getting tougher and tougher. This will only force the Uchiha clan to a dead end. Hearing what third Hokage said, obviously, he has completely misunderstood the story, and he really thought that Danza killed Uchiha Ken. Hiro's blaming plan became even more perfect. Danza fell into the dirty water this time and he doesn't have the ability to clean it. After Hiro heard the words of the third Hokage, under the mask a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Danza fell into a very miserable situation because of his plot. Now the hatred between Uchiha and Danza reached the extreme. "I will be more relaxed in the future, let's sit back and reap the benefits," Hiro thought in his heart. The next thing he needs to do is reaping the benefits. Seeing Danza leaving with a depressed face, Hiro was very happy. Recently, many unexpected things happened, and now even the great elder of Uchiha clan was killed. Hey! The third Hokage couldn't help shaking his head. Hiro nodded secretly. He knew that Konoha's current battle situation was very tense. At present, on the border of the hidden Mist village, Konoha was at war with Mist. Mist ninjas weren't weak at all, which made Konoha's situation not optimistic. Kyoinai's father, Shinku Yuhai, was on the battlefield fighting against the Mist ninjas. At this time, Hidden Mist's strength is still good. After all, the third Mitsukage is still alive, and 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist is still alive too. But Konoha can't put all the ninjas on the front lines at the Mist border, so the Konoha ninjas have been at a disadvantage. Hiro didn't speak. The third Hokage muttered to himself, "It seems that it is time for Kakashi and his group to go to the battlefield." Hiro's heart moved. He is now close to 9 years old. And Kakashi is the same age as him. It is indeed time to go to the battlefield. By the way, Hiro. The third Hokage seemed to think of something, patted Hiro on the shoulder, and said, "Thanks to your performance on the battlefield, Sand has already planned to conclude a peace agreement with us and truce with Sand. Which gave us a chance to breathe." Hiro said slightly, "I just did my job, Hokage-sama. It seems that Sand has already surrendered. To think about it, the Sand village is the weakest village among the 5 great villages. Besides, even the third Kazekage and Ebizo have been killed, so if the fight went on, the Sand village is destined to lose very miserably, because right now, only the 4th Kazekage and Kyo could fight, and the rest are a bunch of old, weak, sick ninjas." The third Hokage processed a lot of news. Hiro watched from the side and got a lot of information. At present, Konoha not only fighting with Hidden Mist Village and Rock Village but also the Cloud Village, which makes the situation for is more complicated and dangerous. Hiro remembered that this incident appeared in the original work, and it eventually led to Third Raikage's death, being besieged by 10,000 rock ninjas, fighting alone for 3 days and 3 nights to death. But now, the war just begins, and the matter should not have happened yet. The next thing was much simpler. Hiro always followed the third Hokage in the Hokage building, and then waited until his work time was over. The next day, the third Hokage ordered Kakashi, Asuma, Guy, and others to enter the battlefield. Kakashi, Obito, Guy, and others were extremely excited. They were waiting this moment for a long time. Obito clenched his fist and said, "Hey, I'm finally going to the battlefield. Rin, you wait. Although I can't win Hiro temporarily, I can win Kakashi. HMPH, come on." Kakashi's complexion remains unchanged, but he was also looking forward to going on the battlefield. Everyone was talking about going to the battlefield with high spirits. Clearly, they were very excited. At this time, the only 2 girls, Kyoinai and Rin, do not need to go to the battlefield for the time being. For female ninjas, the village still has some care. Seeing that Obito, Kakashi, and Guy were extremely excited, Hiro shrugged. After some time, Kakashi and others were led by Jounin, and under the leadership of Jounin, they rushed toward the Hidden Mist village. Hiro didn't need to go to the battlefield, for the time being, so he was very leisurely. And more importantly, without the annoying Danza and his monitoring, which made Hiro was more relaxed. For several days, Hiro lived a happy and leisurely life, and everything at home was taken care of by Kyoinai. But at this time, Kyoinai made an enthusiastic proposal to Hiro, "Why don't we go to the hot spring? Soak in the hot spring." Hiro subconsciously remembered something. "Yeah, let's go together. It seems that Tsunade-sama is free, we can invite her to. Kyoinai's face blushed as she said with a low voice. Soak in hot springs with Kyoinai and Tsunade. This sense. Hiro coughed immediately. He felt the happiness came too fast, like a tornado. In any case, being able to soak in hot springs with Tsunade and Kyoinai is one of the ultimate dreams of every man who saw the original work. How could Hiro not agree? He nodded immediately. Hiro invited Tsunade. Tsunade was bored, so she readily agreed. So Hiro, Tsunade, and Kyoinai went to the hot springs together. Kyoinai and Tsunade were together. Kyoinai admires Tsunade very much. After all, Tsunade is the idol of all female ninjas, the only woman among the 3 Sannin, the hero of Konoha. Coming with Tsunade, Kyoinai looked very excited. The little girl couldn't stop talking. However, Hiro had soaked in the hot spring early, holding a large towel around his body, with an extremely comfortable expression. Comfortable? This kind of weather is going to melt me down. Hiro sighed, then squinted his eyes toward Tsunade and Kyoinai. At this time, he saw Tsunade walking out of the changing room as she was wearing a white robe, but this style of wearing made her hot figure even hotter. Her graceful body was accompanied by dazzling snow-white skin which almost made Hiro's eyes went blind. Tsunade was slightly shy. Her eyes stared at Hiro. Hiro's eyes were moving between her and Kyoinai non-stop. Kyoinai looked very beautiful at this time. She isn't the little girl he knew anymore. She became a very beautiful and attractive young girl in Hiro's eyes. That's it guys, hope you like the video. Make sure you like, share and subscribe the channel. And also tell me your recommendation in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.